What is something that your profession allows you to do that would otherwise be illegal? Tackle people because they have something I want. Disposal of dead bodies. Going on closed trails or off-trail in areas that have been closed to the public for field research. Watching film releases before the official release date. Chop up various human organs. Sometimes I take a little piece home with me. I get to walk into my workplace with an axe and nobody blinks an eye. It would be very strange to not be carrying an axe. To be honest, ethical penetration tester, I've been trained to be a cyber criminal but to use my knowledge to help people. Watch people shower. Seems like I finally got the formula for updates right. I arrange for people to take power tools, knives and ropes into prisons. The grave robbing and general looting. Edit. For people asking how long has to pass for grave robbing to be considered archaeology, the short answer is, it depends. You can't put an arbitrary number on that. What culture is the grave from? Are there living descendants? What is the justification for excavation? I can freely look up clients' social security numbers, sometimes their bank accounts, and just about all of their most personal information. I have access to pretty much every explosive known to mankind. Also, I can legally cook meth, as long as I do the paperwork for it. Edit. I should clarify. Chemical explosives, nuclear weapons aren't as hard to acquire as you might think. https eo9.gizmodo.com/this-experiment-prove-that anyone-could-design-any-1-could-dash-design-nuclei-510618426/mpedit2:I've gotten a lot of two very different yet similar responses. Lots of people asking, what job? Quote. And lots of people saying, a fellow chemist. Yes, I'm a research chemist at 3. The meth cooking is to train local Leo in spotting meth labs. Dia occasionally runs clinics. I've participated in one. Having access to clients' personal information, SSN, address, phone number, etc. along with their finances. I'm a tandem skydiving instructor. It would otherwise be illegal to push people out of an airplane from 13,000 feet above the earth. I get to use all the, for official use only, center median U-turns on the highway. Last week, I had an appointment with a woman who stabbed me repeatedly for the sole purpose of permanently scarring me. Rub oil on naked people for money. I get paid by the US government to look at child pornography. Mostly sitting in office buildings for Secret Service, FBI, Homeland Security, and, rarely, local police departments. This is because the government has to pay for a defense attorney if a defendant can't afford an attorney, and the attorney has the right to hire a computer forensic expert and check the evidence in person. In 20 years, I've seen only one case where the prosecuting attorney got the defendant mixed up with another defendant, and I had to say, guys, this defendant does not have any of this evidence at all on his computer, and they quickly found the mistake. Other than that, the government mostly gets it right, but there have been a few cases where although the evidence existed, the government got search warrants that were not exactly legal. Most of the work is not designed to show that the defendant is innocent, but rather to quantify how guilty he is, and/or find evidence that sort of explains the story, and/or if they represent threat to others. In other words, it's used at sentencing but not at trial. No one wants to present this evidence in front of a jury. Go into people's gardens in the middle of the night, drive fast, talk on my phone, put needles into people, cut off clothing of unconscious people, handle and purchase very dangerous chemicals. Some lockers are literally referred to as the poison locker. Edit. There is also the dangerous room. Stick my fingers up people's meows and bums, not a pervert, just a nurse. Break into houses and steal cars. Make people radioactive. Take children from their parents and keep them for an extended amount of time, from 6 to 12 hours a day. Carry a gun on an airplane. Watch what everyone in the schools is doing on their PCs. Real-time, total invasion of privacy stuff. But it's for safeguarding the students, so it's all askreddit. USB drives are disabled and the boot BIOS is password protected, added that it's school-based. I don't work for the FBI, but please drink more water anyway. Cut off your clothes, see you naked, and electrocute you with 2J per kilogram of electricity. All while I have my hands all over your chest. Walk in and out of a prison on the same day. Finger a minor in front of a live audience. Give people drugs, also letting them die with their advance legal consent. At my old job it was okay to kill people. I never did, but if I did it would have been okay. Go on other people's holidays for free. Handle a loaded automatic rifle, sure legal in some countries for most, but not in mine. We know what emails you write, what prawn you surf, and what little work you actually do. We're admins. I get to shoot grenade launchers, set off C4, throw grenades, and fire .50 cal bullets at tanks and buildings. I also get to administer saline, set heplocks, draw blood, and suture wounds in dirty environments, all of which without any licensing and completely legal. Put needles into small children, see kids naked and forward them to the bathroom. Lock people in psych wards without their consent. I work in a bespoke cake and brownie shop, and we usually just take cake whenever we want, which would be considered theft anywhere else. Lol. Divide by zero, specifically. As a mathematician, I'm allowed to define mechanics that will allow me to perform operations such as defining by zero. Actually, I'm allowed to define anything. Congratulations. You're now defined as wearing a really cool hat, handling radioactive substances, drug people and cut them, sell drugs, work around 60 hours a week while not even getting minimum wage. I can, under the right circumstances of course, lock people up against their will and decide if, when and for how long they are allowed outside. Injure endangered species. It's for science, I swear. Touch children that aren't mine. Drunk and driving. I fire high-frequency radiation from 30-plus emitters 24 hours a day. Pew pew, for reals. I work retail and we overcharge so much that it should be considered stealing. I can break open your door, bust your windows, cut a hole in your roof, and flood your house with a giant hose. Then you'll thank me for it. I am legally allowed to file someone else's taxes and dispense advice in relation to tax. As a dentist, I can pull people's teeth out and endlessly cheat the tooth fairy system. Monsieur, I can't believe I've gotten away with it this long. If put in basic terms, firing a very strong laser at people and cutting out lumps of flesh from prone individuals, all with their own consent. A patient once asked me a most interesting question. If you swapped places with a master butcher, then which one of you would be the most comfortable in their new job? I said that I would think about that one. I never did see the fellow to give him my answer. My answer would have been that if I were marooned on an island with a butcher, and needed a quick, life-saving operation, then I would prefer a butcher to a joiner or even a mechanic. I did once hear of a tale of a butcher using false documents in order to work as a surgeon. From what I remember, this fellow carried out many major operations, and wasn't caught because he killed a patient, but instead was caught because something on his file caused a worker from a medical records department to become interested in him. Monsieur, the game was at an end. I often think of how I would feel if I found out that a butcher had carried out a major operation on me. Probably quite satisfied if the operation was successful. Get to people who wouldn't fluff each other unless I told them to. I am allowed back into areas that have been hit by catastrophic events such as hurricanes before FEMA shows up. Work for Waffle House, y'all. I worked on a military base as a civilian consultant. I was on a battleship, and after work they said I could look around and take pictures. It was pretty cool, so of course I did. As I was wandering around, A uniformed officer angrily came running up to me and started yelling at me. What am I doing? I'm not supposed to be there, etc. I just looked at him, said, I'm working here. He stopped, looked a bit confused, then said, okay, and walked away. Didn't check my ID or anything. I thought, well, that was easy. I did have clearance to be there. Went through the whole deal first and had my papers ready.